Welcome to the first dev diary for some of the assets I'm creating for a game I'm building for Steam. Just kind of wanted to walk through my process to show anybody who's interested in using Maya to build low poly characters for their games, kind of the process that I use when I go through it. You know, typically if I'm building a character, I'll start with a simple cylinder and then just start adding a bunch of edge loops and kind of going from there with the soft brush and kind of pulling and working on the different forms to kind of build that silhouette. The game I'm building is kind of a throwback to early FPS shooters. So it's going to be very retro, kind of boomer shooter style with a lot of undead references and things like that. And so I want to show you like my process in here. I do a lot of sculpting inside of Maya. And then I use those shapes to kind of do some retopology and actually start building interesting parts to the character to kind of build off that silhouette. Kind of seeing here just how I just pinch and pull and build stuff. There's some of the retopology right there. I just kind of work my way through until I get like a really nice kind of topology. And then I'll just connect that to the bigger kind of low poly body as I start to construct it. I did speed this up so it's like super fast, so hopefully you catch some of the details, but I did kind of want to just do these little dev diaries to show my process. I think this was probably about 6 hours, which I find just super therapeutic to sit there and just kind of build and put something together. I don't know, it's to me, it's kind of like playing with Legos in a way. You're just kind of just sitting there and just constructing something and having fun with it. This particular character, I didn't even have a concept for, just had an idea for what I wanted to build. So I just kind of went for it, just dove right in and just started making the pieces as I went. Sometimes, you know, that's the best way, I think, just to kind of just dive right in and start building stuff. You don't always need a perfect concept, especially if you're a small team or a one-man operation like myself building your own game. Sometimes you just got to go for it. Just get in there and just start making stuff and hope it turns out good. I actually was kind of liking where this character was going, so I just kept at it. It took like a nice Saturday on this particular one and just had fun with it. The most important thing with characters like this is just to think about the silhouette and think about the different shapes and the proportions, and don't be afraid to get exaggerated with them, especially if it's a big monstrous character. You know, he's gonna have giant claws and spikes and all kinds of stuff coming out with him. And I think that really adds to kind of the dynamism of the character, right? Like really exaggerating those proportions just makes it more iconic, I feel. So don't be afraid to have fun with those kind of little pieces when you're developing things like enemy characters and stuff like that. I really tried to get into the undead details of this character. I'm a big fan of 80s horror movies, and I love like the kind of classic, almost like Evil Dead style of like Deadites and things like that. So you see a couple of those tropes that kind of carry through into my designs. I love like elongated jaws and stuff that almost looks like Lovecraftian in a way. Just like having fun with that. This particular character, he needed some cool arm blades. He is the Spine Ghoul after all, so you know he needs something to attack the player with. A lot of times when I'm doing UV unwrapping, I'll just cut the model in half and think about the parts that I can reuse and just unwrap half the model, especially if it's like a character like this. He's probably not going to have any really asymmetrical details. He'll be pretty much symmetrical. So I think about all those elements and just chop it up and just worry about one half, and then I'll flip it again later and kind of bring it back together. I think his teeth are going to be a little different, and maybe the eyes. UVs are important. I know a lot of people just like do automatic UV unwrapping and just like not care, but I do care, and I try to make my UVs make sense and organize them in such a way. It's one of the really cool features with Maya is they got a really good UV unwrapping system. It's just the way it organizes and orients UVs is clean and it works nice, and it's been my go-to for probably 15 years on every project I've done. You can see right there when I was doing those spines. Reuse, man, reuse, and if it works and just you can tweak it and reuse the geometry, do so. So for him, his back spines, I just kind of reused the same one and just altered their shape, but they'll all use the same UV map. Now, I did go a little old school here with the Mudbox, and it's funny because I love like some of the better painting apps out there like Substance Painter and 3D Coat and things like that, but there's a couple tools, don't ask me why, like I'm just doing a really basic paint job on this for now, and for some reason Mudbox, it's not a great program. I'm gonna be completely honest, it's terrible, but there's some things in it that are good for just kind of laying down some initial paint layers. And then I can probably take this into Substance or 3D Coat and like really go nuts on the details. But the two tools that I really like in Mudbox are the burn and dodge tools. And I don't know why, maybe I'm just haven't seen it, but I don't really see those tools in Substance Painter. You have it in Photoshop and other programs, but they just work really good inside Mudbox. And that's the only reason I really use this program to do that. You can see right there, I'm kind of like painting light, right? It's the only reason why. Other than that, like the devs really need to get their stuff together on Mudbox, because I think it could be such a really good, awesome, easy painting app, but it's just terrible. It's like so bad. It's so clunky. The interface is bad. I'm surprised that even Autodesk charges for it. It's not great. I think it is cheap though. I think it's like $15 a month, but still, it's not the best. I think it used to be great, but nowadays with all the competing tools that are out there, it's just not great. But you can see right here, I just use it to kind of get my base stuff down, right? And I'm just painting on one half of the model. I think it makes it easy. This program tends to just break down when you have stacked UVs. Like it just doesn't know what to do. It freaks out. But it's good if you have like single UVs like this. So a lot of times I'll just bring my model in, cut in half, and then it's fine. There you go. And then I'll just load it in once I've got like an idea of what's on there, so it doesn't like, have to freak out. But yeah, they really need to do some updates to Mudbox because it's not great. But hey, it's like I always say, it's not the tool, it's who uses it, right? And so I'm using it the way I can to the best of my ability. But that texture is in no way finished, but it got me to where it needs to be for now, at least. I can always go back to it and tidy it up in Photoshop or Substance or other tools. Doing some rigging here. I still like to create my own rigs. Don't ask me why. I could just use the humanoid tool. But I just like sometimes like making my own rigs. There's something that I feel works for me when I do that. It's a lot of excess work, but it's fun. It comes from many years of using Maya, so I just keep doing that. You can see right here. Always name your joints. Just make it a habit. You can see me right there, naming away, right? And setting up some basic IK for the legs, so the legs can at least move. A lot of times when I'm doing like an enemy character, I'll keep it super simple and I'll literally just do IK on the legs, and then everything else will just be FK, and I'll just literally animate the joints. You can see right here, I'm just animating the joints. I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm doing all the posing just by rotating the joints, because at least in Maya, you can see the joints really well and they're easy to use. And so I'll go in and just do that for simple, you know, if it's going to be simple animations. I mean, he'll probably have like maybe 10 animations total. He's not like going to be a super complex character. Doing some component editing right here. I think there was some scanning issues. I mean, if you want to get really complex, you could add controllers to all the joints or series of joints and have big, you know, NURB circles on all the parts so you can, you know, really see things and animate it. But a lot of times all you really need to do is just what I did there. I have the legs on IKs and everything else is just hand animated, which is totally fine. Especially for like a retro game from the 90s, right? And there he is in all his glory, the Spine Ghoul. So I'll be adding more animations and other stuff, but I hope you dig. Thanks for watching this dev diary. I'm going to be doing a couple more of these in the coming weeks, showing different characters, assets, props, different stuff from the game I'm working on. Feel free to leave any comments down below if you have any questions or thoughts about my process. Always love to hear everybody's thoughts and ideas about stuff. We'll be a lot more active on YouTube this year, by the way, so please subscribe. I'll be adding lots more videos like this, as well as more in-depth tutorials and all kinds of stuff 3D related, as well as my game stuff. Thanks for watching, everybody.